फूड में जैसे कि आप कुछ कुकिंग कर रहे हो तो आपको पता होना चाहिए कि टेम्परेचर कितना होना चाहिए.
What would you say? Like, are professional degrees really important in this field?
So this is a vicious cycle. You have to keep going. You have to keep understanding the nuances.
How did you start your journey? Like, did you start by doing any internships? Were you interning under any, like, a hotel or chef?
And then I went to MasterChef season 6, and
Wow.
I was amongst top 40 in India. When I went back to Gujarat, like after this journey of MasterChef, I started getting opportunity from certain brands, and that was my first project in food styling, जिसमें मैंने कुछ पैसे नहीं लिए थे. This is how it all started. Within span of 2.5 years, I had opportunity to work for more than 80 food and beverage brands.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Career Shades. And today we have Dr. Chavda with us. He's a food stylist and a food consultant. He has worked with 80 brands in total till now, including Vadidal, Lapinos, Wagh Bakri, Fortune, and the list is endless. So, welcome to Career Shades, sir. How are you doing?
Thank you so much for acknowledging me here.
Yes, sir. So, my first question to you is that how did you develop interest into this particular field? What is your educational background? And do you have any professional degrees into this field?
Actually, I don't hold any professional degree in this field if I talk about food. But by profession, I'm an MD doctor. I have done masters in
Right.
homeopathy. And before that, as you know, which goes without saying, I have done my UG, that is undergraduation in homeopathy medicine. And I have done masters, an MD doctor. So by profession, I'm a lecturer in medical college. And
Wow.
so passionate about doing food styling, which I now do as a profession too. Yeah.
Right. So this is the side gig. So, sir, was it your passion since the start, or did you develop interest into this field over the years? Like from medicine to food styling, these are two very different things.
Yeah, people ask me the same question many a times,
Yeah.
and I know how to answer it well because जिंदगी में दो बात होती है. एक होता है आप अपने लेफ्ट ब्रेन का आप अपने लेफ्ट ब्रेन का सुनते हैं, बिकॉज लेफ्ट ब्रेन इज something which guides you towards mathematics, calculation, analytical things, science, while right human brain guides you towards arts, literature, music. It can be any form of art, music, or any creative field. So when we
Right.
fuse both them together, it turns out being the refined one. So in my case, I know how to manage the left brain and right brain. And
Wow.
so homeopathy is also about using your right brain and left brain both. And food is also about understanding the arts and science. So food में जैसे कि आप कुछ कुकिंग कर रहे हो तो आपको पता होना चाहिए कि टेम्परेचर कितना होना चाहिए. धीमी आंच पे पकाना है खाना या मध्यम आंच पे पकाना है, और खाने में खुशबू कैसी आनी चाहिए, उसमें फ्लेवर्स कौन से डालनी चाहिए, वो होता है आर्ट. तो आर्ट and if you know how to revolve around art and science, you can be a magician, you can be an artist and scientist too.
Right.
In my case, I apply both the things and it works for me.
So, what do you consider yourself as a magician right now? Because it is actually difficult to balance both of these things together, and you're doing it perfectly.
It is possible only when you are passionate about it and when you are so determined about what you are doing. And if you are so passionate about anything in life, like you can achieve the purpose, you can embrace the whole idea of the same. Yeah.
Right. Sir, 80 brands, that's a lot. I was going through your resume, and you have worked a lot actually, and that too without professional degrees. And there are people taking professional degrees into these kind of fields to be a chef or to be a food stylist. So, what would you say? Like, are professional degrees really important in this field, or you can just learn by yourself and you can start working?
तो दो चीज होती है कि एक तो आप प्रोफेशनली सीखते हैं, ट्रेनिंग लेते हैं, जिसमें आप when you learn techniques, when you learn skills when you get trained under a professional person. So it is equally important. आपको professionally learning मिलता है, which
Right.
can beneficial in your career. लेकिन in my case, I didn't undergo any sort of professional training. I didn't
Right.
hotel. I didn't go to any restaurant to learn food styling or recipe development. So in my case, it is a God gift. So I received as a gift from Almighty. So,
Yeah.
but what I would say, like all those who want to learn this, who want to, practice this art of cooking or doing food styling. So I'll tell you three things. Three things. First is make your vision clear. If your vision is clear, you can achieve the purpose. Second is you have to work for it. Like if you are wishing to become a food stylist or a food curator or a recipe designer or a food consultant, you should work hard. Like you should know about the current trend, you should know about the cuisines, you should know about the crockery, what kind of crockery goes for what cuisine, what kind of crockery is suitable for what cuisine, for certain dish. So
Right.
second thing is to be well equipped with knowledge. So you should have enough
Right.
knowledge. You should have enough knowledge about the choice of crockery, what crockery will go with XYZ dish. And third is practice. You have to
Right.
fail. You have to unlearn the things. You have to relearn the things. You have to sharpen your skills. Like, you have to learn the things. You have to fail also. You have to develop. So this is a vicious cycle. You have to keep going. You have to keep understanding the nuances, of
Right.
this art. Then only you can master. Yeah, and you should have a voracious appetite also. Yeah. Yeah.
True, absolutely. There are so many areas in this particular field of styling or being a chef. Like you are a food consultant and a food stylist. People just want to be a chef or maybe a food manager. So are all of these things different or सब एक ही चीज है? They are just different names given to those.
का रोल होता है कि जो फूड को डिजाइन करे, जैसे मेन्यू डिजाइन करना है आपको, और कौन से नए मॉडर्न ट्रेंड्स है, टेक्निक्स है, उसको परकोलेट करके आपको मेन्यू डिजाइन करना होता है, जिसमें
Right.
यू आर पुटिंग योर इनसाइट्स, योर क्रिएटिव माइंड ऑल्सो. एंड जैसे कि इफ आई एम अ फूड कंसल्टेंट, so if I talk about my role, if I talk about my fundamental area of work, then it is about designing the menu in a way that it can be just translated to a simple menu or a la carte menu or a progressive Indian
Right.
menu. So we have to keep the current trends in mind. We have to study a lot. We have to do R&D, research and development also, about new dishes coming in the market. We have to do trials and error. And so
Right.
that's about food consultation and food curation. So which is about developing a recipe, working upon the recipe presentation, uska serving or uska costing.
Right.
So that's food consultation. If we talk about chef को क्या करना होता है? Chef is to cook inside a kitchen or inside a restaurant or inside a specific area which is designated for cooking. So a chef has to cook the things. So it is about the production, food production. So
Right.
my ties in food development, how food production का जो है उसके साथ मेरा काम जुड़ा हुआ है. So different area. Food chef is different thing, and food consultant is a different thing. Yeah.
Yeah, fine. So, sir, you have quite a sound knowledge about these things, and as you said that you are not from this particular background, you haven't received any professional degrees. And so, how did you start your journey? Like, did you start by doing any internships? Were you interning under any, like, a hotel or chef? How did you start your journey?
Started just like that.
Like from your home kitchen?
Yeah. So I would talk about my initial journey. So initially, I would take part in a lot of cooking competitions. Happened all around the city level, the regional level competitions, and I would take
Okay.
part in competitions. And surprisingly, I would achieve good ranks. So gradually, I started achieving ranks, and people started acknowledging my work. People started knowing me, my talent, and then I went to MasterChef season 6, and
Wow.
I was amongst top 40 in India,
Nice.
and yeah, and there I cooked amazing dishes. And then I returned because that time I was not pro at cooking non-vegetarian, and I was also little adamant about not cooking non-vegetarian, as I belong to vegetarian family,
Right.
wherein just talking about an egg also sounds like crime. So
True,
so
true.
I was little I had inhibition to cook non-veg that time. And when I went back to Gujarat, like after this journey of MasterChef, I started getting opportunity from certain brands. So my first brand I worked for food styling. So that was a sweet brand, mithai ki brand thi, and that was my first project in food styling जिसमें मैंने कुछ पैसे नहीं लिए थे. It was a free of cost. Like जैसे कि सिर्फ फ्रेंड ने बताया कि हर्ष तुम्हारा प्रेजेंटेशन अच्छा, you are very good at presentation, you are very good at garnishing the food, so why don't you come and just help us out doing nice styling on the board. So I just did one thing, like I gathered the props from my cupboard, and I just went to his place. I just did nice job, and somehow they liked it. And within a week I got another opportunity for a bigger brand, wherein I had to work for
Right.
a holding. So it was a tea brand, and
Okay.
I had opportunity to work for that, and that was my first paid project. And
Okay.
the journey got started, and it was a roller coaster ride. So it was a second brand, and then again in a 1 week I got another brand to work with, and this is how it all started. And within span of 2.5 years, I had opportunity to work for more than 80 food and beverage brands with his
Right.
blessing.
Wow. So, sir, they say that these kind of things they look fancy on TV, but you don't really have scope in it, and you don't have good salaries. That is not true. From what I can understand from this conversation, is you really do have a good market scope. Do you agree?
So first of all, you have to believe in yourself. You have to create your own value in the market. Until and
Right.
unless you value your efforts, your art, your artistry, nobody else would do. So you have to be
Right.
confident of your brand, your inputs, your artwork, and another thing, you have to deliver good content every time.
Right.
So you
Absolutely.
on Instagram or on any social media platform can also acknowledge your idea, your vision, your insights about the same. Yeah.
Right. So since you're talking about social media, how important is it to have a social media platform to showcase your talent in today's age and date? Because there's a lot of competition, and there are so many students who want to be into this field, but they are not presenting themselves out there. So, what is the correct way to go ahead and grow yourself in this particular field? Like, do we need to have a social media presence? Do we need to go to the restaurants and to the chefs to present our work? What is the correct approach towards it?
So first thing, you have to continuously deliver a content on social media. For example, if
Okay.
I had planned to put about 2 to 3 posts a week, which I don't do nowadays because of some other projects ongoing. So initially, you have to market yourself. So
Right.
you should know how to reach out to right people where you have a good scope of work. And certainly, when you reach out to people, when you reach out to the sources which can get you maximum work, for that you have to spend money in props. You have to select right
Right.
props You have to be very selective about the selection of props, crockery, cutlery, the backdrops, because backdrops are, essential for photograph. So
Right.
you surface on which you are going to put your props and ingredients, crockery, wherein you are going to serve nice food. So first things
Right.
first is to be, you have to be one man army. You have to be well equipped with everything, be it crockery, be it fabrics, be it any small prop which is needed for a nice photograph. Because what
Yeah.
I believe, we eat with our eyes first, so food has to look visually appealing, no matter
Right.
how it is, how delicious it is, but in the first go, you are going to eat the food with your eyes. And
True.
in my work, in case of photography, nobody is going to taste the food. So we have to make sure that food should look beautiful. And
Right.
so all those who are aspirants, like who want to be food stylist, or who want to be a food presenter, who want to present food in an appealing way, make sure you get nice props. You get relevant props. ऐसा नहीं कि
Right.
पाव भाजी है और आपने बहुत एक्सपेंसिव क्रॉकरी ले ली. For पाव
Right.
भाजी, go rustic. You have to select rustic props. Simple steel के बर्तन ले लिए आपने, और you can also choose brass vessels, rustic vessels जो पुराने हो, उसमें आप पाव भाजी सर्व कर सकते हैं. So you
Right.
you should whole purpose. So you have to study the food, you have to study the cuisine, and you have to study
Right.
the, because pav bhaji, if we are talking about pav bhaji, you cannot serve a salad of lettuce and cherry tomato. You can never serve a salad of cherry tomato and lettuce with Italian dressing. You have to ideally serve kata hua pyaz and tomato,
Right.
so side accompaniment also matter a lot. So if you are talking about pizza, you have to think about relevant side accompaniments. You cannot put masala soda or masala chai beside the pizza. You have to put coke,
Right.
put a beverage kind of thing alongside, which is like fizzy, or which is little
Right. Absolutely.
drink. So you have to understand the composition first, and you have to collect the right props. So that's what I'm saying. You have to invest money for yourself. That is
Right.
more important.
So one another problem that students face is from where to get this money. As I said, these things look very fancy, and fancy things come for a price. And a lot of times their parents don't support them for these kind of career. There are a lot of stigmas attached to these kind of fields for guys, especially till date in our country. Would you like to talk about that? Like, have you
Yeah.
personally faced those kind of things from your family or from the people around you? And for the students who are facing those kind of issues, what would you like to say to them and their parents?
So it's about how you take it first. It's about how you feel about it. Okay. So if you are sure, if you are strong in if you have conviction, you should know how to convince others. And another point to make sure that never ever think that what others are talking about to you. Never ever feel that what others thinking or perceiving about you, your identity, your work. It's about you. It's about who. It's about understanding you as a person. It's not about thinking about others. It's just about respecting your art. It's about respecting your artwork and your artistry. So if you focus more upon people, if you focus more upon others around, then you will never ever respect your art. And your art will no more be an art, So it's about being very sound about your identity, and you have to convince yourself first. So
Right.
others will be convinced automatically, you know.
Right.
Another thing, like एक दो प्रोजेक्ट आप आपको कुछ नहीं मिलेगा, जैसे यू आर नॉट गेटिंग गुड चंक ऑफ मनी, बट दो प्रोजेक्ट आपने ऐसे किए और उसमें से आप कुछ जो सेव हुआ है उस अमाउंट में से यू हैव टू बाय प्रॉप्स, यू हैव टू इन्वेस्ट इन क्रॉकरी. ऐसा नहीं बोल रहा है कि यू हैव टू इन्वेस्ट लाइक गुड अमाउंट ऑफ मनी इनिशियली. You have to be mindful about your expense. So from first initial few photo shoots, you can make a nice saving, and then from that saving you can invest in your crockery, in your props, in your backdrops, whatever you are looking for, or whatever is required to conduct a nice photo shoot, because
Right.
photograph will just capture a photo, while as a food stylist you have to keep everything there on the board. Like you have to keep the backdrop on the table. On that which you are on that you are supposed to put a plate, a nice plate which goes well with the food, and then again you have to serve food in a presentable way that it doesn't look boring to the eyes, and you have to put relevant ingredients which belongs to that particular family. For example, if you are
Right.
shooting pasta, if you are styling pasta, you have to be extremely cautious about the texture of pasta. It should not be overcooked, it should not be extremely boiled. So you have to choose a 50% or 60% cooked pasta, and you have to select exotic vegetables like that. You have to just parboil the vegetables or saute the vegetables instead of blanching it or instead of overcooking them, because nobody is going to taste that dish of pasta. So be mindful
Right.
about it, and no matter whether you have put salt in it or not. So just make sure your pasta should look good by any way, no matter what tricks you apply, whether you apply that castrol on the pasta just to give it a nice shine, or you apply coconut oil on pasta, nobody is going to taste it.
So this job is looking very satisfactory and very fancy to me, but there has to be something challenging about it. So are there any challenges that you face in this particular field?
Yeah, there are so many challenges. It doesn't seem to be as easy as or rather I would say, like, it is not that easy as it seems to be.
Right.
Because after every successful photo shoot there are like hundreds of failures, trials, or and you have to dissolve every hurdle to be a refined version of yourself and to give a best shot every time.
Right.
So if I talk about difficult challenge which I have ever faced so far, is about creating a fake ice cream. So
Right.
when you shoot with real ice cream, it kind of melts down in a short while, and as soon as the photographer starts capturing the photo of this same ice cream, it melts down in no time, and you have to take a
Right.
call and you have to figure out the solution. Now, how can you fix up it, how you can make a fake ice cream which can resemble a real ice cream. So I know how to make it, and it is very challenging. Yeah, to make it exactly just like real ice cream is not an easy task. So you have to work for that, and there are so many dishes also, like rice is also very difficult to shoot because you have to work on each grain of rice, and for curry, Indian curries also, for like it is about being experienced every time. In every shoot I learn a lot, I unlearn a lot, and I relearn a lot. So it's about learning, unlearning, and relearning. You have to be a good learner, and you should have a good room of curiosity within you to learn the things, and then only you can unlock the art. Yeah.
Right. I hope my students are taking notes of these small tricks and tips that they'll be using definitely in future. So, sir, at last, I want to ask you, like, which job is more satisfactory for you, like being a doctor, a
Yeah.
homeopath, or
So
this one?
I like both the things, but if I have to choose one, I obviously like something which pertains to food. Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
The
because
right part of
it is
is
about
playing a
sharing.
role.
Yeah, it is about doing what you love doing. It's about feeding your heart.
Absolutely.
It's about feeding your soul. It's not about feeding other soul. Like so, be who you want to be. So be
Right.
yourself and listen to your heart. So that is
True.
the whole formula to be happy. And if you are gifted with this art, you should never let it fizzle down. You should never let it fizzle out. You should work upon your art. You should encash the opportunity. Uh, you should understand how to evaluate your art, how to give a professional touch to your art, and how to make
Right.
money out of it. So you can feel your pocket also and feel your
True.
soul also. Huh.
Right. I hope my students are learning this art of balancing your profession as well as your passion.
Okay.
At the end, sir, would you like to give a piece of advice, or would you like to say something to the students who are looking forward to make career in this particular field?
Okay. So first of all, like you have to understand your inner calling. What is something within you which is so special in character? What is there within you which is different than others? You
Right.
have to be pro at one thing only. You cannot be master of everything. So make
Right.
sure you push yourself only in one direction, which is meant for you, which you are good at, and just do it. Like, don't think much about future. Don't think much about the reactions of it. You have to be confident about it. Just work for it and keep practicing. Keep practicing, and just listen to your heart. And then
Right.
automatically things will, get aligned. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Perfect. So that was it, sir. That was a really insightful session with you. Thank you so much for
Thank
being
you
with
so
us
much.
today on our platform.
Thank you
And
so much.
if you have any queries, any doubts, any comments about this session, anything you want to ask us or sir, you can always drop down in the comment section. We'll see you next time with another amazing interview. Till then, all of you, please take care.
Thank you so much. Yes.